I think the odds maker skewing how this fight perception-wise is looking makes it a difficult fight to choose. But if you're really just looking off of body of work, why is Katlyn Chookagian not a pretty substantial favorite in this fight? Like everything based off of her career and her fight style kind of tells the story of she should probably win this fight. Why do you think the odds makers are viewing it this way?
I can see where you're coming from, because really Blonde Fighter has had this time of always being at the top, and always being the one who's gonna be in the dance, if you will. But also at the same point, sometimes Katlyn Chookagian gets surprised and ran through by the younger, more scrappy fighters. I mean, let's just go ahead and take a look at what was it, the Andrade body hook that nobody saw coming. Yeah, the left hook, the hook to the body from Andrade. That's just one of the main things that kind of comes with the Chookagian fight. And we all know that there's few things that are guaranteed in life, and it's a Katlyn Chookagian by decision. That's kind of like a death, taxes, and Chookagian by decision. But also, you look at Fiorot, she has a lot of decisions out there. But the one kind of big thing I think that has a lot of the big thing going against Katlyn Chookagian, is the fact when she doesn't, or when she can be surprised. When the fight isn't going her way, and she hasn't had enough research on an opponent, or it's kind of this new person coming in, this media hype that's getting all this push going forward, and she kind of stumbles the ball a little bit, not necessarily fights the best she possibly can, and it depends on how you saw them at Hebus win. I mean, there's a lot of things where, do I think Katlyn Chookagian is the pinnacle of the division? Not necessarily, obviously, because she's not champ, but is she up there of the upper echelon? Yeah, but I don't think it's that monstrous of a gap to get to that position. You know what I'm saying, Derek? The reason I think this fight's the hardest is because I think it's going to come down to a decision. It's going to be who's going to be the more technical fighter and who's going to win on that night. Or do you see somebody getting put away right here?
Well, listen, bro. I mean, dog, like realistically, Katlyn Chookagian got like 15 decision wins, bro. So it's like her decision ratio is pretty goddamn good. I'm just going to say this, man. I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it. And here's the reason why. I think personally that Manon Fiorot, her style is very similar to Katlyn Chookagian's. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to let you be the aggressor. I'm going to hit you with some side kicks. I'm going to hit you with blazing speed. And I'm going to counter you every time that you come in. Look at what she just did to Jennifer Maia. Literally that same game plan. Well, what does Katlyn Chookagian do? Is Katlyn Chookagian, I'm going to be on the front foot and I'm going to walk you down? No, she's a counter striker. She's a point fighter. So when a point fighter fights a point fighter, somebody got to come with the aggression, and I feel like it's going to be Manon Fiorot. And I think if Fiorot does that, you're playing literally into the hands of a Katlyn Chookagian who's going to do all of the same things that Manon Fiorot is good at. She's going to push kick her out, right? She's going to hit her with the jab, hit her with the 1-2. Now, yeah, I think Fiorot does have the speed advantage. I think she might even have the power advantage. But I think Katlyn Chookagian has better angles, way better of a grappler in terms of jiu-jitsu as opposed to wrestling, right? I can't speak for the wrestling, but I think listen, Chookagian just got her black belt. So better grappler for her jiu-jitsu, right? I think she's going to be able to dictate more or less where the fight takes place, and if she gets taken down, I think she'll be able to get back up to the feet and keep it pushing. But more than anything, man, Katlyn Chookagian is seasoned. You can bring up the Hebos fight, right? And you got to win over a monster with a great jiu-jitsu like Hebos. Okay, and can strike. Okay, you get stunned by Jessica Andrade, the person who we could say could be the champion of the division, like if Valentina wasn't there. And the last loss before that, yeah, you get crucifixed by the champ, Shevchenko. It is what it is. Now, listen, man, I've been on Fiorot since she entered the UFC, since she got that nasty win over Victoria Leonardo. But let's look at it since then. You beat Leonardo, you fight Baby Shark, who is a weight class below you, and you beat the shit out of her. Okay, you fight Mayra Bueno Silva, you get the decision, and then you fight Jennifer Maia, and you get the decision. Now, those are big wins, right? Like, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
to
yeah,
you look at
100%.
those, and you're like, yo, those are big wins. Like, for Fiorot, you deserve some respect. But then you look at Katlyn Chookagian and you beat Hebos, you beat Maia, you beat Araujo, you beat Calvillo, you beat Sister Shevchenko, you beat Maia again, you beat Joanne Calderwood, you beat Alexis Davis, Romero Barella, Irene Aldana, Lauren Murphy. I just rattled off the entire fucking division. And it's like Chookagian gets no respect and no love. So for me, I'm not concerned. Give me blonde fighter by points. Death taxes blonde fighter by points. Simple as that. And that's how I'm going to leave it there. Now, brother, please take the floor.
I mean, it's hard to this, and this is why I was struggling with it because
Uh,
blonde fighter by points is one of the picks that's it. Like you said, death taxes, blonde fighter by points. I get it, brother. But what concerns me the most on this one is when you, like you said before as well, man. When you have two counter strikers going at it, are we gonna see the Rosenstruck or the Black Beast or
Ngannou
whoever the hell
and Lewis.
was it? The Rosenstruck?
No, I said Ngannou and Lewis. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about? Yeah.
Ngannou and Lewis. Thank you. Black Beast and Francis Ngannou. Are we going to see that kind of fire meets fire and fire doesn't want to play at all with the other fire? Or are we going to see this weird kind of shuffle on who's trying to decide? And I think sometimes in that weird little angsty shuffle, that's where Manon Fiorot gets done best. So I'm going Fiorot, and I'm going by decision on this one, man. If you would pull up the stats because I don't even see the how much it actually is for her, but I think
Oh
she is the
shoot!
favorite. Is she not?
Hold on, my fault. I thought you meant a different stat. My fault. This stat right there.
There we
Yes.
go. There we go. Yeah. Fiorot is the favorite. Kind of blows my mind as well, but I'm going, and you can see that minus 115. It's almost not lucrative in a sense, but that's what I think is going to have the best outcome right here is Fiorot by decision.
Listen, if Euro wins, nothing but respect. If you can get a win over the blonde fighter, you're literally fighting for a championship next. It's as simple as that. But that's the thing for Chookagian, man. She's been in this spot where she's had to beat everybody else in the division and still not have a title shot guaranteed for her next. I just think she's too seasoned. I think she gets the job done. I think people sleep on. Listen, she was on the borderline of getting cut just a couple fights ago.
Yeah.
Why are you getting cut? Because you're so good, but just not good enough to be the champion. That's why you're holding up the division because you're being the Max Holloway and you're just beating everybody else in the division. I don't know, man. I get with the argument, though. It's a good argument. I just think the odds makers are a little too overhyped on Manon Fiorot, even though she's a fantastic fighter. Look at the pedigree. Look at the record. Come on, brother. Blonde fighter by points from me. We're going points for Fiorot from my man AJ, and that wraps up your main card.